This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather Ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy! And the birthday boy to end July is a former Heisman Trophy winner who actually played in the NFL, didn't do so well, but went to the CFL, so that's good. In fact, he did a lot for black quarterbacks everywhere, becoming the first black quarterback to be the Heisman Trophy winner for college football player of the year. He's now 55 years old. I thought he would be in the 60s, but anyway, his name is Ware. Ware grew up in Galveston, Texas, wanting to play for the University of Texas. But Texas wasn't interested. Texas wanted him to be a defensive back and all that. The good news is that it made Ware realize that Texas didn't want him as a quarterback. So, after they found out about the truth with Texas, he went to the University of Houston, which was known for their airstrike offense. I mean, after all, David Klingler did that too. But Klingler was his successor. I thought Klingler was first before Ware, but no. Ware did his job for the University of Houston. And in his senior year with Houston, he won the Heisman in 1989. Oh, sorry, he was a junior when he did that. He threw for 4,699 yards, 46 touchdowns, which was amazing and all that. Of course, Ware was the quarterback when Houston ran up the score against the SMU Mustangs when SMU came back from the death penalty of football because of the recruitment issues, because of the whole boosters thing. The score was 95-21. He put up 5 touchdowns in the first quarter alone. Take away that, well, he threw for more touchdowns. Houston scored more points in the first quarter than SMU did the whole game. He threw 6 touchdowns in one half, 517 yards. He set many records. Yeah, they decided to set the records against SMU, which was kind of pathetic. I mean, dude, just lay down after the first half, even. Houston ended up 9-2 and ranked number 14, but couldn't play the postseason because they were on probation for the problems. And Ware became the only player in NCAA history to win the Heisman while playing for a team on probation. He thought he could get no better in college football than, win the Heisman. So he's like, I'm going to the draft. And so the 1990 draft happened. And no, he was not the first quarterback taken. He was the second quarterback. Atlanta did have the number 1 pick, but swapped with Indianapolis. So the Colts had the number 1 pick, and they took a quarterback by the name of Jeff George from the University of Illinois. The Jets took Blair Thomas, 2nd overall from Penn State running back. Ugh, what is it with Penn State running backs? Because they had a string of Penn State running backs being shit until Larry Johnson came along. Seattle, in a trade with the Pats, moved up to 3rd and picked up Cortez Kennedy from the University of Miami, which was a great move by Seattle. Tampa took linebacker Keith McCants from Alabama. That's all right, but he was better in college. San Diego took Junior Seau, a linebacker from USC. Great move. And the Bears took Mark Carrier, safety from USC. Great move. Detroit took Ware, and you didn't look back there. The next quarterback drafted was not until number 63 in the 3rd round, Peter Tom Willis to the Bears. What you talk about, Willis? Had to get that in there. So anyway, the Lions picked him 7th overall in 1990. The team scouting director did not want Ware, and he resigned the next day. Wayne Fontes, the head coach, wanted Ware. So Ware would team up with Barry Sanders, ironically the last Heisman Trophy winner before Ware. He won in 88 and Ware won in 89. Ware would play 4 years with Detroit, only playing 14 games. Unfortunately, Wayne Fontes, his biggest flaw was wanted Ronnie Peete to keep starting and all that. And Peete would be replaced by Eric Kramer. Although it did work out in 91. Kramer did help the Lions win the division and shock Dallas in the divisional playoff. Yeah, I know that it was in Detroit, but still, I mean, the Lions, their last playoff win was 1991. Can you imagine? And people were complaining about the Bengals and their drought at the time before they got to the Super Bowl. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, Fonts would start Rodney Peete, who was often injured, but then put Eric Kramer in. And Fonts would only play Ware when the Lions were out of the playoffs or losing by a wide margin. Ware did win 2 out of 3 games in 92 once the Lions were out of the playoffs. And then after 93, he left to join the LA Raiders, but was released. Not a good move. Jacksonville would sign him, and it'd be great that, you leave the Raiders and then join an expansion team where you could probably be a mentor to Mark Brunell. Unfortunately, the week before the regular season, they cut him, which was not a good idea. A lot of people said Ware failed in the NFL despite a good college career. But, a lot of people said that Ware's coaches never gave him a fair chance to develop. And he couldn't adapt to an offensive system that was not the run-and-shoot offense in Houston. He would be kind of good for Buffalo because Buffalo ran that kind of offense, but Jim Kelly was there. Ware then decided to leave Jacksonville and leave for the CFL, playing 3 years for 3 different teams. The Rough Riders of Ottawa, when Ottawa had a football team called the Rough Riders, the BC Lions, and the Toronto Argonauts. He would be the backup to Doug Flutie for the 97 season, which saw the Argos win the Grey Cup. But Ware would leave for Berlin to join the German team in NFL Europe. And Flutie would soon leave for Buffalo. So the Argos had their problems. But he's found a niche. Since 2002, the inaugural season of the Houston Texans, he's been part of the radio broadcast team with Mark Vandermeer. So he's done well. And he's been a college football analyst for ESPN. He would call games on ESPN and ABC and all that. He was a color commentator pairing up with longtime SEC broadcaster Dave Neal for SEC football. He would be still part of the SEC network, but then joined the ESPN College Football Friday primetime team in 2020. 2004, he was inducted to the Hall of Fame. Inducted to the Texas Sports Hall of Fame in 2012. Yeah, so NFL, he had 5 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in only 14 games. Ugly. He didn't play much for the CFL either, which was kind of weird and all that. But I don't know who Ottawa's number 1 was. I would say David Archer. BC's was Damon Allen, and Toronto's was Doug Flutie. But anyhow. So, yeah. A lot of black quarterbacks and all that. Yeah, the history of black quarterbacks has actually done better basically by the 2000s. But yeah, like nowadays, like Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, Cam Newton, Steve McNair, and Jalen Hurts basically have brought black quarterbacks there and all that. In week 1 of the 2020 NFL season, which was hit by COVID, 10 black quarterbacks were starters, which was amazing and all that. There's a lot of stereotyping. Crapola. Yeah, there's a lot of race issues with black quarterbacks, unfortunately. But yeah, Andre Ware was the trailblazer, the first black quarterback to win the Heisman. Not the last. Lamar Jackson, I believe, did. There were probably a few others, but I'm blanking right now. It's just, I'm not thinking about Heisman Trophy winners, which is stupid. But anyway, yeah, Andre Ware set the mold and all that. And heck, he played in the CFL, so why not? Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond, a dude.